advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening. Welcome once again to another episode of Illuminati with Crip. Tricks.
Tricks.
Okay.
Good evening, viewers. Thank you for choosing Illuminati this evening. We are so pleased to have you with us again, and we are so pleased to be here with you.
Then I guess you're used to this show already, more or less, that we cover, for the most part, the arts and culture, anything related to it. Our particular topic tonight, however, is rather special. You might say that there is a clash between...
This is my serious hat on right now.
something like art versus science, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I've always felt that science supports art, and art enhances science. You start from the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel to down to the most modest sample of public art in our country. And I'm not talking about the arches saying welcome to Tagaytay or Agoo where there are vegetables, no? But real art and real culture, I don't think there should even be any question about art and culture going up against science. In any case, that might be a kind of roundabout way to introduce our topic. The show's title is Sunset and the Arts. Okay.
Sunset and the Arts. And why is it Sunset and the Arts?
Because I love the sunsets. I love sunsets, and I like the arts, and I like them in equal measure. And I'm saddened by the fact that there is a present controversy over a scientific plan, or what we'd like to accept if we give them the benefit of the doubt, scientific plan to reclaim yet another part of Manila Bay. Most of you guys have probably heard about the protest, the opposition, the Save Our Sunset group, led by my good friend and relation, Paulo Alcasaran, other friends, other people who have known all my life, Lori Tan, dear Emily Abrera of the Cultural Center of the Philippines, Direct Butch Perez, who has called me a sellout, but that's okay. That's okay. I know where I stand, which is nowhere. Not for any side, okay? My thinking is, let's hear both sides. I think that's the best thing. Yeah, one can't get emo on anything, you know. I know that there is a culture of protest in this country, and sometimes I find it a little too much of drudgery already. Now, when we hear something like there should be a total ban on mining. There should be a total ban on logging.
People tend to take it to the extreme, and then
if you do total bans, what happens to the chalices of these priests who are always the ones against mining? Anyway, we're getting out of track. We'd like to introduce our guest. It's a single solo guest representing the Manila Gold Coast Development Corporation that has plans to reclaim a portion of Manila Bay, which happens to be fronting Manila. Okay, and that is why there is opposition.
The Manila side.
Yes, because these people are, I'm not calling them emo, they love their sunset, they love their environment. I'm with them. If the initially false premise were true, that the reclamation plan was going to affect the entire Baywalk strip.
The horizontal strip
stretch? From the CCP and the Yacht Club to the U.S. Embassy, then I'm with them.
Because that would cover the whole
But as it turns out, no, it doesn't cover that at all. And we'd like to hear more of the science side of it, and eventually the arts and culture side of it from our eminent guest, an official of the Manila Gold Coast Development Corporation, Welcome to Mr. Edmundo Lim. Hi,
Welcome,
Ed.
sir.
Chris,
Thank you
and
for
thanks,
being here with
for
us.
inviting me. Good evening to everybody.
Sorry, Ed, no? I'll just say this briefly. Another, parang full disclosure, okay? Full disclosure on my part. It's not the reason why I'd like to hear both sides. But the fact remains, Ed and I go back a long way, okay? We were classmates in San Beda, a school that certainly taught us more than just education or enlightenment, but also we were pretty strong on the moral side of things.
So
okay,
we have
moral
three
side of
bedans
things.
here today.
We have three bedans.
We should have all come in red.
Okay. okay.
You did. Well, I do. I have.
Ed, okay, there's much opposition to your plan, to the Gold Coast plan. Can you give us a little backgrounder on this?
Sure. Let's do it one by one.
Yes.
There's an
Please.
opposition that says the project is not legal because it was not bidded out. I'd like to state the facts, right? The project was bidded out in 1991 during the time of President
Wow,
Cory
all the way
Aquino.
back then.
And there were more than 10 participants to the project. And there were actually two projects that were bidded out. One is ours and one right beside us, right? And which I think
Okay.
sparked a lot of controversy at that time, right? So by 1992, it was awarded to the two winning bidders, right? And if I may show a picture of the area, this entire frontage of Rojas Boulevard, right, from the Cultural Center to the U.S. Embassy, is where the two projects were supposed to be situated.
Okay.
So our project is right up to the Quirino Avenue, which is the Hospital ng Manila, going towards the sea, right? The width is only up to Quirino Avenue.
Yeah, it occupies
The other
minimal
project
space.
was right in front of the entire
Oh, so
area.
that was another project.
There
by
was
there.
another
Okay,
project
okay.
here, right?
Yes, okay.
Which was also awarded to
Okay.
a company called Acerco.
Okay.
But through the years, because of all the political and legal basis, the City of Manila passed an ordinance prohibiting any reclamation in this area. So we could not proceed at that
yes,
time.
okay.
And through the years, we expressed interest and we tried to prove that our award was legal and legitimate. And the other party backed out. So
I
that
see.
solved a lot of the problems.
Okay.
Because they were the ones that were blocking the
That
view.
would have blocked the view.
They were the
In-
ones
in
who
which
occupied-
case, I would have joined the opposition.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
to
because
them,
then
to
we
their plan.
lose the whole
Because I
stretch.
am with the current SOS opposition group in their stand that Baywalk strip should be preserved because of Manila tradition,
And all these years,
aesthetics,
yeah, we've known it to
etc.
be somewhere where you can go.
Yeah, we need that
appreciate the
historic
sunset.
area.
So we just want to say it once and for all. We are not blocking the entire strip of Baywalk, right? In fact, we are only up to Hospital ng Maynila. So starting from Aloha Hotel up to the U.S. Embassy, you can watch the sunset the whole year round, right? Because the sunset only moves from here to here, and we are on this side of the
Okay.
sea. So that just
That's for the aesthetic and traditional considerations, and environmental. But there have been scientific allegations against the project that are supposed to be scientifically based. How do you respond to those?
Well,
Like the
basically,
flooding, possible
the flooding
flooding,
is an
etc.
issue that
Yeah.
they raised.
Yeah.
But if we look at the other countries, Hong Kong reclaimed 2,500 hectares for the airport. Singapore reclaimed 6,000 hectares around them. South Korea reclaimed 13,000 hectares. Netherlands, which is 70% below sea level, reclaimed a piece of land that becomes the dike or to prevent the flooding of Netherlands. So you can see that reclamation does not necessarily cause flooding if it is done properly, and we are going to do this properly.
Yes.
right?
Okay.
If you look at the strip of area on the Ross Boulevard on the Pasay side during the last September 2011, storm surge, high tide, and heavy monsoon rains, that section of Ross Boulevard was not flooded at all. Why? There was a reclaimed land, piece of reclaim in front of it, which is the MOA and the other projects there. The area of Rojas Boulevard that was flooded was from the cultural center to the U.S. Embassy. Why? There's no reclaimed area in front. There's no dike in front to cover it, right? So if you look at if we look at this picture here, right? So this is Rojas Boulevard here, and this is our reclamation area coming from the sea. We're looking at from the sea. This area here is totally open.
Correct.
Once we do our reclamation here, we block the water going in, and you have a dike here. They have a breakwater here already, and DPWH is going to extend this a little further. So that means we are blocking almost the entire entrance to this area here
Okay.
to prevent the basura
okay.
from going in and the water.
Excuse me for cutting in, Ed,
Interesting.
but I understand that you have a video that we would like to present, and it's quite long, no? And we decided to have it in the first half of the program. I think we should cue that in. We can take that up again
Yeah.
in the
It will
second
clear
gap.
up a lot
Okay.
for our viewers.
So let's have this video as a backgrounder for the project.
Manila, pearl of the Orient, a pearl floating on a string of more than 7.
Manila, the heart of the Philippines. Sentro ng kalakalan, hitik sa atraksyon at kasaysayan. Dito, mabilis at pasulong ang daloy ng buhay.
Lies the finest port of the Far East.
Noon pa man, Maynila na ang favorite destination ng mga mangangalakal mula sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo.
Ang Maynila kasi parang bunganga. Ang itaas niya yung Pataan. Ang ibaba naman Cavite. Yung mga mangangalakal na injek, doon pinadadaan. Dadalhin ang komersyo. Iiwan dito, bonsai mo sa mga Pilipino. Pilipino nagtitinda.
Dumaan man ang mga gyera na sumira sa kabuuan ng Maynila, sinikap nitong makabangon. Nahalina pa rin sa pakikipagtransaksyon ang mga dayuhang negosyante dahil hospitable nga raw tayong mga Pinoy. Kaya unti-unti ulit tayong nakilala sa World Business Map.
Iba yung tabing dagat Mas lapit niya sa negosyo. At hindi lang sa negosyo, miski sa mga entertainment yan, iba yung... Mamimili ka niya antes na magpapasel ka.
Maynila nga raw ang modelo ng komersyo. At nagsisunuran na lamang sa pag-angat ang mga karatig nitong lungsod. Gaya ng Makati, Quezon City, Taguig, at Pasay. Pero kapalit ng economic boom ay isang problema, ang limitadong espasyo.
Manila has grown to all four cardinal, or basically three cardinal directions: north, south, and east. Big problems we're presently experiencing here in Metro Manila is the heavy parcelarization of land. It constitutes a limit to further physical development, physical expansion. To create, let's say, a 2,500 square meter lot for a tall building would require you to talk to probably 10 different owners. No? So land consolidation is going to be very, very difficult, very costly, legally, and basically it takes up a lot of resources, a lot of time. So that with the expansion of Metro Manila from the 1980s northward and southward, we have lost many of our agricultural lands. No? By losing agricultural lands north and south of Manila, we have a problem with food security. So we now have to source our food much further south, much further north.
Maraming bansa ang dumaan din sa ganitong hamon. Pero tingnan nyo ngayon kung ano ang narating na nila. Kaliwat kanan ang pagpapatayo ng mga establishmento roon. Tila nagawa ng paraan ang overcrowding. Ano kaya ang sikretong solusyon?
Ginagamit nila yung reclamation para pandagdag ng mga lupa na kakailanganin nila for infrastructure, mga airports, mga seaports.
Sunod-sunod ang mga pinagawang reclamation projects worldwide. Nandyan na ang Macau, mga airport tarmac sa Hong Kong, Singapore, Netherlands, ang one-of-a-kind hotel and recreational facilities sa Dubai, at maging ang bansang China na may malaking lupain ay sunod-sunod na rin ang mga ginagawang proyektong reclamation.
Ano ho ang halaga ng reclamation?
Reclamation, if it's done properly, at the right time, the right land use, in the right location, it's a value added to the city. Like Singapore used to be 65,000 hectares lang, kasi ang laki ng Guimaras Island. Ngayon, 71,000 hectares na. Ang Holland, 2/3 is reclaimed. 2/3 of Holland. And hindi sila binabaha as long as you do it properly.
Ayun.
But you have to consider the environment as well. That's very important. Strike a good balance between it.
So itong reclamation, ginawa rin po ninyo ito sa ibang bansa, hindi po ba?
Yeah, because I was an urban planner of Dubai. Kaya noon na-concept pa lang. Pero thanks to the visionary leaders of Dubai, the Maktoum family, and nung sold out na yung waterfront nila na 70 kilometers lang, they did the Palm Islands, and they added 2,000 kilometers more.
Ayun.
Oo.
So naglalagay, ano po yan? Lupa yan, hindi ho ba?
Lupa, but you get the right material. And yung reclamation, if done properly, it's going to be also a tsunami breaker.
Ganun
It
po?
breaks high waves.
So dito po sa Pilipinas, ano ang nakikita ninyong potensyal? Kasi marami na rin hong reclamation dito sa Pilipinas.
In fact, first I wondered why we have so much idle land. And then what I learned from developers, ang hirap daw mag-consolidate ng lupa kasi may mga land grabbers, yung claim jumpers, multiple titling. Kaya it's easier for them, even from the institutional constraints, yung reclamation.
Actually, ang need ng reclamation, dala yan ng talagang pangangailangan eh. Minsan pag masyadong marami ng tao, masyadong congested na yung lugar, kung hindi mo naman mapapakaunti yung tao, ang magagawa mo, palakihin mo na lang yung lupa.
Ang reclamation ay hindi lamang simpleng pagtatambak ng lupa sa dagat at saka patatayuan ng mga buildings at daan. Ito ay masusing pinag-aaralan at dinidisenyo ng mga engineering professionals sa private sector sa pakikipagtulungan na rin ng mga ahensya ng pamahalaan. Reclamation nga ang naging solusyon ng mga kalapit nating bansa upang mapunan ang pangangailangan ng mga bagong negosyo, trabaho at atraksyon. Ang tanong, kaya din ba natin to?
Dito sa atin sa Pilipinas, marami na tayong reclamation na ginawa, panahon pa ng mga Kastila at panahon ng mga Amerikano.
Manila, I keep coming back to Manila.
Ang Manila Bay ang siyang naging pilot area for reclamation.
Yung dagat natin noon, mas malapit sa Taft Avenue. In fact, yung Luneta, reclaimed area yan. Yung port area, reclaimed area yan. Madami-dami na rin yung nare-reclaim natin dito sa Manila area.
Ang Otis Road, UPPGH, Manila Zoo, at Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas ay bahagi rin ng reclaimed area na ginawa pa noong panahon ng mga Kastila. Napakikinabangan na rin natin ngayon ang bunga ng mga ipinatayong reclaimed lands, hindi lang dahil dumami ang commercial areas, kundi pati na rin sa ipinapasok na buwis ng mga negosyong ito sa kaban ng bansa at sa mga trabahong nilikha nito sa mga Pilipino. Kung malaki naman ang benepisyo ng Metro Manila mula sa dagdag na mga negosyo sa reclaimed areas, bakit hindi natin payabungin pa ang kalakalan? Bakit tayo magpapalimita sa problema lamang ng overcrowding kung may solusyon naman dito?
Actually, Manila kailangan na ng mga additional space. Hindi ka kasi pwede magkaroon ng development na pakaunti-kaunti lang, say 1 hectare, 2 hectares, para magkaroon ka ng impact. You talk about maybe 100, 150 hectares. Napakahirap bumuo ng ganyang kalaking lupa dito sa City of Manila. And the only expansion available will be towards Manila Bay.
May isang proyektong handang tumugon sa hamon. Isang world-class reclamation project na maglulunsad ng mga bagong negosyo at atraksyon sa Maynila.
With the 148 hectares, this is going to be a new economic center, a new business district. This can easily accommodate anywhere from 100,000 to maybe 150,000 people, assuming that the development will be high-rise. One of the major components of the plan to bring in cruise ships, so this is a major tourism component of the plan. These guests will be allowed to visit the tourist areas in Malate and Ermita as well. They're not going to be confined to to Solar City.
Ang proyekto ay gagamitan rin ng makabagong engineering methods, kaya nakasisiguro sa tibay at kaligtasan ng lugar.
Our technologies are already advanced, and we probably intend to import additionally advanced technologies to help us build these developments. So they're not going to put something in there that will cause the collapse of adjoining structures or cause danger to people.
Bukod sa accident-free, ito'y environmentally safe rin.
Ang nag-survey nito ay mga marine people, mga fisheries. Lumabas na po ang resulta. Doon po sa inyong pinaliwanag na lugar, wala pong coral, wala pong important species, walang isda. Wala po tayong pipilsalaing marine life.
Wala tayong sisiraing bundok, wala tayong kukuning material sa mga areas na yan sapagkat meron na tayong experience na pag ginalaw natin ang bundok, this will create more problems than solutions. We will source all the materials from the sea.
At kung nangangamba ang ilan sa isang malaking pagbaha sa Maynila, tinitiyak sa proyekto na malayong mangyari ang ganitong senaryo.
Problema na po tuwing malakas ang ulan ang malawakang pagbaha sa Metro Manila.
Mga pagbaha sa Metro Manila ay nakita na nga solusyon kung papatupad ang paggawa ng reclamation sa mga baybaying dagat.
Ang nakikitang solusyon sa malawakang pagbaha sa Metro Manila ng urban planner at kilalang arkitekto na si Felino Palafox Jr.
Reclamation is a solution to flooding in Metro Manila.
Ito ay magsisilbing pananggarin sa malalaking alon o storm surge upang maproteksyonan ang mga negosyo at mga mamamayan.
Nanawagan si Mines and Geosciences Bureau Director Engineer Leo Hasareno at Urban Planner Architect June Palafox Jr. sa pamahalaan na maglaan ng tamad maayos na reclamation sites. Ito ang magsisilbing depensa laban sa mga biglang puhos na malalakas na ulan, bunsod ng mga bagyo o hanging habagat. Paliwanag pa ni Palafox, ang kailangan lang ay matibay at maayos na drainage system para hindi bahain ang reclamation sites na karaniwang reklamo ng mga nare-relocate.
Dahil sa lakas ng bagyo, malakas ang hangin, malakas ang alon. Kung ito po yung shoreline, yung alon pupunta sa kalupaan. Hindi ho babaha yung pagka-alon sa dagat ay pumunta sa kalupaan. Ngayon po, pagka may reclamation project kayo, yung alon na yon ay humihina, ika nga ay nadidissipate ang wave energy. Sa halip na lumundag sa kalupaan, dito lang pupunta ang alon. Kaya hindi po magkakaroon ng baha.
Kasabay sa paglago ng mga establishmento sa loob ng Solar City ay pagbuti rin ng buhay ng mga Manilenyo. Layunin nitong madagdagan ang buwis para sa gobyerno.
Reclamation, if it's done properly, at the right time, the right land use, and the right location, it's a value added to the city.
During construction, may mga permits na kinukuha yung mga contractors, may mga taxes silang binabayaran. Pag natapos yan, yung real estate tax, malaki yan. They can run into billions per year. Okay? Plus yung mga business permits na nakukunin ng mga magtatayo dyan. I'm sure malaki yan. And these are the benefits na nakukuha ng mga local governments na where these developments are.
Karagdagang atraksyon din ang siguradong dulot ng proyektong ito para makaakit pa ng maraming turista at investors.
The MOA area, I think, is a success story. Tingin ko in terms of impact, economic, financial, medyo magkakapareho.
At syempre, lilikha ng maraming trabaho.
Sa 148 hectares na i-develop, assuming 50% of that will be devoted to building. And for each building, probably it can accommodate 5,000 employees or probably 5,000 people. So that would be around from 250,000 to 500,000 empleyado na ma-employo dun sa proyekto niya.
Ang mga benepisyong ito ay hindi lang para sa Maynila. Madarama rin ito ng buong bansa.
Actually, everybody benefits, not only the City of Manila, but the national government. Because at the end of the day, yung mga yan, yung mga taxes, yung mga economic, mga business, kung ano-ano, mga permits, etc. All goes to government.
Hindi layunin ng Solar City na harangan ang nakagisna na nating ganda ng Maynila. Bagkus ay patitingkarin pa nito ang kalakalan, maging ang kalagayan ng mga mamamayan.
The view of the sunset will still be there. Hindi siya matatakpan.
Itong proyekto natin na tinatawag naming Solar City, nasa proseso kami na gusto na namin itong i-finalize. Bukas kami sa inyong mga mungkahi, mga suggestions kung paano natin ito mapapabuti. Kasi nga, gusto natin itong pagmalaki at maipamana sa mga susunod na henerasyon ng mga Manileño.
Komersyo at benepisyo para sa sambayan ng Pilipino. Ito ang inyong Solar City, where the sun not only sets but also rises.